Hi there, your computer friend Connie here. Have you ever struggled with trying to make an appointment with somebody else? Maybe that's somebody within your own company or organization. Maybe that's somebody external, like maybe a customer or a vendor, potential customer. Or maybe that's with a volunteer organization that you help out with. Maybe you're on a committee or you're on the board. And trying to make everybody's calendar jive together is so hard. How many emails could you possibly send to figure out what's the best date for everybody? I'm going to show you just how to get around that, how to automate that whole process. I have a couple of tools that I use personally in my business. And just in case you don't know, my name is Connie and my business is Mission Computers. And I'm in the business of helping people learn technology. And so in doing that, that usually means I have to make an appointment with them to train them or consult with them or even talk to them ahead of time before they even become a customer so we can find out more about each other and maybe do an assessment with them or just an introduction. So for that, I have scheduling tools. And a lot of people are getting very used to this these days. I actually saw a Facebook Live I was looking at last night from one of my colleagues who has a business close by, and she has a clothing store, and she's taking appointments for her clothing store because of COVID, of course. And it was so neat to see that because it's a new world that we have to live in, and new technology comes with it. So appointment schedulers is part of that. You don't want to have to be using a paper date timer and figure stuff out, especially if there's more than one of you trying to coordinate appointments with customers or vendors or something like that. So having a scheduling program is so much easier for that. So let's just show you what my examples are. So I'm going to start with two systems that I use personally, and then I'll tell you why I use them and why they might be able to help you. And then we're going to talk about other ones that are available too, because there is so many options there. After this video or after watching me, just Google calendar scheduling programs and you'll see lots of choices. Now with lots of choices comes lots of different choices within that program in terms of what you are able to do. So keep that in mind. Just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's better. It might be missing a key factor that you need. So you want to kind of make sure you do your research really well, and maybe look for other companies that are similar to your own or organizations that are similar to your own to see, are they using this system or not? So what you have on the screen here with me is my Mission Computers scheduling page, and this is using Microsoft. So if you have Microsoft 365 for business, there's a few versions of Microsoft 365 that has this product available in it. It's already there. You don't have to buy anything new. You already have it. Maybe you don't even know it. So this is called Bookings. So it's called Microsoft Bookings. And this is what my page looks like when someone goes to visit it. If I say, hey, go to I just send them the link in an email, and then they click on the link and they see this page come up. And so if they're like, oh yeah, you know what, I want Connie to do, let's see, a demo of something. So if they click on technology demo, they click on that. Okay. You'll see, and actually you can't see on my screen maybe, but below it's actually showing a calendar. So it's saying on August 10th, these are all the time slots I have open. So it actually looks at my calendar within my Outlook. It's syncing with Outlook automatically because it is a Microsoft product. And it's saying, hey, Connie's got lots of openings here. She's got, on Monday, she's got all these times available. But notice today is Thursday and I have no times open on Friday. So it says no available times. And Saturday and Sunday, it's saying that because I had that crossed off as not an option. So you can specify, which days of the week do I work, what times of the day do I want to have appointments, and a few other cool things that I'll show you in a minute. But if you look, okay, so let's say Monday's no good for you. You click on Tuesday. You've only got 3 options on Tuesday. Let's go to Wednesday. Lots of options on Wednesday. Hey, this should be blocked off. That's my anniversary. Hopefully the hubby's going to take me somewhere special and I can block out the whole day. But yeah, so that's what it looks like right now. So, and this is dynamic. This is the cool thing about it. So if I go into my calendar 10 minutes from now or like after this session and I block off the day on the 12th, then when you click on it, it'll be it won't be available. Well, actually, you won't be able to click on it because it won't be available to you. So as soon as I do something in my calendar, it changes this. And so this is why I like using it, because I know for years I've just done the same old process where someone emails me and says, hey, Connie, can you come and teach this group of people on Thursday or Friday? What times do you have open? And they might be talking about Friday next week. And I say, yeah, sure, I can come on Friday. And then 2 days later, they send me an email going, actually, Friday doesn't work. How about Thursday? And I'm like, okay, well, Thursday, yeah, I have this time at 1 o'clock. And then by the time I send it to them, that gets booked. And so it's not dynamic. We're emailing back and forth so much. So it's so much better if they have a change or I have a change, it's easy enough to change. So if someone wants to rebook, not an issue, because they just click on the link again and see what openings does she have tomorrow or next week. And that's all available there. So let's just show you how to get this. And so you'll see if you were booking an appointment with me using this system, you pick that date, you pick a time, and then you type in your name, your email. You probably should give me your phone number unless you don't expect me to ever phone you. But for appointments might be better. And then anything you want to tell me about that. And then you'd hit book, and that would send me an email, and it would also put an appointment in my calendar. So it actually already schedules me. So that's kind of cool too, right? It puts it in there. Okay, and then I can of course email you back, but that's your confirmation. You don't even really need a confirmation from me, but I think I do confirm anyways with people. So that's Microsoft. That's what this one looks like when you use it. This is all customizable. These times are all, again, as I said earlier, this is something for you to choose what time slots you want to have open or not. And then this stuff you can customize as well in terms of what information you need from people. So let's show you where you do that. So I'm going to go into what's the back end of it. So just so you know how I got here, you'd have to go to your Microsoft login on the web. So log into Microsoft. And then once you do, you'd go to this waffle, which is a menu on the top left. And you click on that. And so bookings is right there, kind of front and center for me, but it may not be. You might still have it. So you may want to just double check this if you have Microsoft. And if you don't see it here, just go to all apps. And when you go to all apps, it alphabetizes it. So guess what? Bookings is way at the top. If you see an A and no B, then that means you don't have it included in your Microsoft product. And as far as I know, it's not a free product because it has to integrate with your Exchange environment and your everything to do with your Outlook and stuff. So unless Microsoft changes that, but it's not free. So if you have Microsoft, then that's why you want to pay attention to this. I'll show you another feature, another program which will allow you not to have Microsoft. I'll show you actually a few more. So don't leave because you don't have Microsoft Office 365. Still stick around. All right, so let's just show you a few things. I'm not going to take too long at this. There's a lot in here, but I want to just show you a few options available to you. So starting with in my booking page, what I can do is say what my time increments are. So see how it says time increments. So I could say it's 30 minutes or whatever time increment I want to have for that particular appointment. And by the way, I'm on a particular appointment. So this is for one of the appointments that I have listed. I have multiple types of appointments, and I'll show you how to make multiple in a second here. So maximum lead time. So what that means is, do you want to get a booking for something 10 minutes from now? Maybe if I had a clothing store and, if it's COVID, I probably still need to have some kind of lead time. So maybe I'd need 10 minutes or 15 minutes because it's looking for openings in the calendar, by the way. So it can't double book you in this scenario. Now, that being said, if you have multiple employees, you could have one customer with one employee, one customer with another employee, and so on, right? So that's just how this particular one would work, right? But so for me, I'm having to teach you something, or maybe we're having a consulting call of some kind. I do need some lead time. So to prepare for that and to know more about you, so I give myself 24 hours is what that shows here. Okay, so that's the minimum lead time, and then there's maximum lead times in terms of days in advance. So this is saying, so this is in hours, 24 hours, and in terms of days in advance. So here, this is when I was doing face-to-face training more so, and I had lots of clients that were looking at, what do you have available in the next quarter or the next month or whatever. So I did have to give them my calendar open far into the future. So this is 90 days, 3 months into the future. They can see, okay, what openings does she have? And then they can book something, right? Let's go over to the staff is something, I mean, I'm not using that because I only have one. There's only one of me showing in here. I do have a couple of other people that work with me, but they're not showing as staff members because they're not doing the consulting that I'm doing. So that's nothing extra there. Services. So here's where what you saw on that first page comes about, because this is where you actually can add a service. So if I hit add a service, you'd say what the name of the service is, describe it a bit, and then you have the details. So what's kind of cool here, right? Let's say I am that clothing store, then maybe I want to have a little bit of buffer time. So even though my calendar shows I have an opening at 1 o'clock this afternoon or 2 o'clock this afternoon, if I just finished with a client at 12:30 or 1:30, I want a little bit of buffer time between clients. So that's where I can say, yes, I need buffer time. So even though my calendar is open, give me an extra 15 minutes. So that's kind of, so for me, I use buffer time a lot with my clients when I was going to visit them face to face, because I would need to give myself travel time. So if they booked in my calendar, hey, Connie's free at 1 o'clock. If I was at a client's until 12:30, that only gives me half an hour. I don't know where they are. That's a new client that's booking me compared to where I am currently. So I have to give myself, like say, an hour travel time in between my appointment. Maximum number of attendees. So that's kind of a neat option. So that's where, again, back to that clothing store example, maybe she's bringing people with her. So they want to have 4 people in the store. So then, you can see how many people are coming into appointments and how many people you can have in your store and stuff like that. And then you can put a price on this. Now this doesn't tie into, it doesn't tie into like PayPal or anything like that, where it actually, I could be wrong. I don't use it for that. So if it did tie into, there might be some extra programming needed. But you can certainly give people the price so they know what it is. But as far as charging them, you might have to use another product for that. Okay, and then just so I don't go too long here on this one, because I got a few more to show you, just so you know, there is some options for email notifications. So are you going to notify the person that's booking the appointment that appointment's coming up? So it's a good idea, right, to notify them by email that you've made the appointment, or they've made the appointment. So it's obviously going to notify you because they're on your calendar booking the appointment for you. So kind of a neat tool to use. I'm not going to save this, so we'll just discard that. All right, so this is kind of what I'm showing here. The default price, I'm not giving prices on my page here, whether there's payment required, and then what staff's assigned. There's some customization that you can do within your booking page as well, which is what this shows, like different colors. And then if I go back to, actually let's go back to here. So that's what it looks like, right? So that's what the customer or the other person sees. Okay, so now let's do another scenario. Maybe it's a little bit more complicated than this. It's not quite this straightforward for you to book people like this. You need to have a lot of extra flexibility, and you want it actually tied into other systems. So this example I'm going to show you now is called ScheduleOnce, which is also known, it's Once Hub is another name for it. And so this product is one of the top calendar scheduling programs for automation. And so what I mean by that is it ties in with literally anything and everything. It ties in with your email system, ties in with your payment system, it ties in with I might be a little too techy here, but it ties in with funnels and websites, and it ties in with just almost anything, right? So this is kind of like the cream of the crop here. Now there's other ones that are competition to this, but this is just the one that I'm using. One of the competition to this at this level is called Calendly. And ScheduleOnce is the one that I went with because that's what my business coach suggested for what I was doing. So a lot of my business these days, being that it's COVID, and also even if it wasn't COVID, this would be my business, is online. And so to effectively help people online, that means I have to look at my market bigger than just where I live. And so if I want to reach people in Australia, which I have, hello mate, or hi mate. And if I want to reach people from other countries, the US and so on, then I need to be respectful of their time differences. Not that Bookings wouldn't work for that, it certainly does, but this just gives me a lot more options for it. So let me just show you if I had sent out a link in one of my emails to you, say, hey, book a tech discovery session with me, I'd have a link in there, and then at any point in time you can click on that, and this is what you would see. So I'm just going to click on it, and so it's telling me at the top, by the way, this time zone, so it knows that I'm in Edmonton, because that's where I am, but I could change that time zone to any time zone, and then it will show me the time slots available based on my time zone. Did Bookings have that? It probably did. I'm sorry I didn't show you that part, but yeah, this is kind of neat because it's actually giving you different dates. Like now, Bookings, if you remember, didn't say there was any openings on Friday. This one says there are some openings. Now, this one is syncing with, which means it's integrating with my Outlook. So it is syncing with my calendar. So it's looking at the same place that Bookings did, but it's getting a little bit different information. And that's probably because this is a duration of 15 minutes, whereas the Bookings one that I was on was 30 minutes. Plus it probably had a buffer of 15, which means it was looking for a time slot of 45 minutes. And this one's only looking for a time slot of 15 minutes. So that's why there's openings, right? Not that I'm just hiding one from the other here, okay? So if you were to click on, let's say 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then it would give you a page, a form where you'd fill in your name and email and that kind of information. And then what this one is integrated with, like I use Microsoft Teams for my meetings, but I also use Zoom. I use other products because other people are using other products. So I have to be open to a few different platforms. And so this one ties directly into Zoom. So when I send this out to somebody, or they fill this in, then they get the Zoom link for that day, and I get the Zoom link. I don't have to go into Zoom and set up a meeting and send someone the link. This does all of that for me. So that's really cool. Okay. So that's how it kind of looks for the end of the person that's kind of making the booking. Let's look at sort of a little bit of the back end of it so you can see how it's made up. So there's a lot to this one. I'm not going to go through everything single part because this program is huge. It could, I don't know, take me a couple of hours to go through every part of it. It's very flexible. There's so many choices that you can make within it. So this is just kind of one of the screens available to you. There's a lot of setup screens in here. I'm just going to go into an actual booking. So this is that tech discovery session I was talking about. And if you notice in there, it says, what's the duration? So I'm saying 15 minutes. And then when do I want to start? Do I want to start on the hour 00 or at 05? Or so see how many choices it's giving me here? I don't have that with Microsoft Bookings. Okay, and then the time slot starting time must be at least 50 minutes apart. So it's saying that, if I had something booked already, then I have to give myself another 15 minutes before I can book something else. Okay, so kind of that's sort of the idea of buffers. And it is also adding in a buffer for me. Now this is kind of neat. This is saying, hey, you know what? Let's control the workload. I can't be doing these sessions all day long, 12 hours a day or anything. So how many of these bookings do I want to take in a day? And so that's where I put my limit. I'm saying I'm only taking 3 of the tech discovery sessions a day. So even though I had more time on my calendar that day, I'm not leaving it wide open just because I don't want to have it all booked up with this. I may have something else or another customer come in for another reason, and I want to leave that calendar open for other reasons as well, right? No surprises. How far in advance can someone book? So I'm saying 12 hours here. And then how far into the future can they book? So this is not quite the same as my client that says, hey, Connie, I have a group for you to train on Excel or Microsoft Teams. Can we do something the next month? There I'm giving them that's 90 days of my calendar so that they can book from. Whereas here, this is a discovery session, like finding out more about, how you use technology and how you can maybe get more out of it. Then this one one is kind of like while you're thinking of it, let's get you while you're fresh. And so I'm saying less than a week is what I need to have available to me for that booking time. If I book it into 2 weeks, chances are you're possibly not going to show up or that person's not going to show up because, it's too long to remember. Okay, so lots of choices here. That's just one of the options. There's many different options. Notifications you give to your client. There's tons of stuff in here. I can send them reminders 24 hours before, 1 hour before, 10 minutes before. I can email them, text them. I can even after the meeting, I can send them an email and a text. So there's just like so many choices, and not all these choices definitely are not available in the Microsoft bookings that I was showing you previously. Okay, so this product is really neat. Lots and lots of choices. It's cream of the crop for scheduling. Definitely check it out if you're in need of something like this. But let's talk a little bit more about another scenario. So let's say you're part of a group. When I was a member of the church council, they wanted to do some ad hoc meetings once in a while. So they had need to call everybody together to meet. And so what they would do is they'd say, well, it's not a regular meeting. So when you're trying to arrange calendars or times with 12 other volunteer people, it's sometimes hard to get them all on the same date. So what they would use is something called Doodle. So Doodle.com. There is a fee for this, by the way. It's pretty inexpensive though. I think it's like $5 or something a month, maybe. But this one lets you kind of be in charge of the scheduling to some degree. So if you're the one trying to organize it for a committee or this group of people, then you can send them a link, but you can give them ideas of, can you just look at my calendar? These are the times I'm kind of hoping for, and then vote on which ones you want. Because it's a neat option, because when the person that's organizing the meeting gets back all the responses, then they see, there's 4 votes for Wednesday, there's 3 votes for Thursday, there's 2 votes for Friday. Let's go with the 4, and so that helps them make a decision as to when to have that meeting. So this option is more about, you're kind of polling people, finding out when are you available, and then you're making the meeting from that, and then that sends out a meeting response to them. So I love this product for that example. Okay, and then another one, I thought I'd throw in a free one. This HubSpot is, according to the website anyways, it's completely free for you to use as a scheduling system. So if you need to schedule your appointments and you don't want to have to pay for anything right now, then maybe take a look at this one and see, or by the way, if you have Microsoft already, you might already have Booking. So that is already, you don't have to pay for anything extra for that one. But HubSpot is free in terms of scheduling. So there's probably other options for you if you want to pay for it. You get more flexibility and stuff, but this is your free option. All right, so there are your scheduling tools. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know, make a comment below so I know, are you using the scheduling tool? Do you have one? You have a favorite? Or do any of these appeal to you? Do they make sense for you to use in your organization? All right, so thanks for watching. I'm going to sign off now. Bye-bye.